like Canelo, who's just one of those classic Mexican fighters that has incredible heart, wants to fight the best of the best, really takes it.
Joe Rogan and Oscar de la Hoya have reacted to Canelo Alvarez's intense training footage by sharing wildly different takes that have the boxing world buzzing. Rogan, the podcast powerhouse, is all praise, calling it a display of peak athleticism, while de la Hoya, the former promoter-turned-critic, dismisses it as overhyped fluff masking deeper issues. This clash of opinions is turning a simple training clip into a full-blown debate, pulling in fans from every corner of combat sports. Canelo's latest videos, leaked from his high-altitude camp in Mexico, show the super middleweight king pushing limits like never before. And the reactions are as explosive as his punches. Let's break it all down, starting with the footage itself and why it's got everyone hooked. But this new training footage from early 2025, it's got everyone talking, from casual fans to industry heavyweights. Released on his official social channels and quickly picked up by outlets like ESPN and DAZN, the clips show Canelo in his element, training at his high-altitude camp in Mexico. You see him shadowboxing with that signature fluidity, his red hair slicked back, sweat dripping as he unleashes hooks and uppercuts that could crack concrete. The footage isn't just raw power, it's layered with modern twists. Think high-tech wearables tracking his heart rate, virtual reality simulations for opponent scouting, and even recovery pods that look straight out of a sci-fi movie. Fans are eating it up, with views skyrocketing past 10 million in days. But why the hype? At 35, Canelo's entering what many call the twilight of a boxer's career, yet these clips suggest he's hungrier than ever. Is he prepping for a legacy-defining fight, or is this all smoke and mirrors? That's where the reactions come in, starting with Joe Rogan, the podcast titan who's no stranger to breaking down fights. But before we get into Rogan's breakdown, let's unpack the footage itself a bit more, because it's packed with details that hint at Canelo's evolving game plan. These training videos aren't your standard gym sessions, they're a masterclass in preparation. Picture Canelo starting his day at dawn, the misty Mexican mountains in the background, as he jogs rugged trails to build that legendary stamina. The clips capture him in intense sparring rounds, trading blows with partners who mimic the styles of potential foes, quick footwork like Crawford's or the relentless pressure of Benavidez. One standout moment shows him drilling counterpunches. His gloves a blur as he slips jabs and fires back with body shots that echo through the gym. His trainer, Eddie Reynoso, is right there, barking instructions in Spanish, pushing for perfection. What's new this time? Canelo's incorporating biohacking elements, like infrared saunas for muscle recovery and nootropic supplements to sharpen his mind, stuff that's got biohackers and fitness gurus nodding in approval. The production quality is top-notch too, with drone shots following his runs and slow-motion replays highlighting the snap of his punches. This isn't accidental. Canelo's team knows how to build buzz, timing the release just as boxing forums were speculating about his next move after a relatively quiet 2024. Remember his last big outing? That dominant performance against Jaime Munguia in May 2024, where he dropped the challenger with a vicious uppercut in round 4. These clips echo that ferocity but amp it up, showing a Canelo who's bulked up slightly, his physique chiseled like never before. Critics might say it's all for show, but the raw effort shines through, grunts of exertion, beads of sweat flying, and that focused glare that says he's on a mission. And it's this intensity that's drawing reactions from all corners, making waves in a sport that's always hungry for the next big story. Speaking of which, Joe Rogan's take adds a whole new layer of excitement.
You have 4 children?
Yeah, I have 3.
You have 3 children. You have 7?
Yes.
10 kids.
7?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He hasn't stopped.
Yeah. I think
have you stopped now? Is that enough?
What?
Do you have more kids? Or?
I don't know.
In episodes dating back to 2019, he's praised the fighter's evolution from a young prospect to an undisputed champ. But when this new footage dropped, Rogan dedicated a solid chunk of his latest podcast to dissecting it. "Look at that footwork," he said, his voice booming with excitement. "It's like he's dancing on coals, precise, explosive, and unpredictable." Rogan, with his background in UFC commentary, often draws parallels between boxing and mixed martial arts, and here he did it again. He compared Canelo's training regimen to that of Conor McGregor in his prime, noting how both incorporate cross-training elements like grappling drills to build endurance. "This guy's not slowing down," Rogan continued. "At 35, most boxers are thinking retirement, but Canelo's out here looking like he could go 15 rounds without breaking a sweat." He even touched on the mental side, speculating that Canelo's time away from the spotlight. His last fight was a unanimous decision win over Edgar Berlanga in late 2024, has only sharpened his focus. Rogan didn't stop at praise, though. He raised an eyebrow at the potential downsides, wondering aloud if the lack of recent high-stakes bouts could lead to ring rust. "You train like a beast, but nothing replaces actual fight night," he mused. It's this balanced take that makes Rogan's reaction so compelling. He's a fan, but he's realistic, always tying in broader combat sports lore. Remember his episode with Mike Tyson? Rogan loves these deep dives, and for Canelo, he speculated on dream matchups like a super fight against Terence Crawford, the welterweight wizard who's been calling out bigger names. "Imagine that clash," Rogan said. "Canelo's power versus Crawford's speed, it'd be fireworks." His enthusiasm is infectious, drawing in listeners who might not even follow boxing closely. Rogan went further, discussing how Canelo's training incorporates elements from other disciplines, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu warm-ups to improve balance and agility. He referenced studies on high-altitude training, explaining how it boosts red blood cell count for better oxygen delivery, science-backed stuff that Rogan geeks out over. In another segment, he brought up Canelo's diet, praising the clean eating with lean proteins and veggies from his own farm in Mexico. "This is next-level preparation," Rogan enthused, comparing it to the regimens of elite athletes like LeBron James. But he also slipped in some humor, joking about how Canelo's tequila brand might be his secret recovery tool, lighthearted but insightful. Rogan's platform amplifies everything. With over 200 million downloads per month, his words turn casual viewers into die-hard fans. He even tied it to his own experiences, recalling sparring sessions where he felt the kind of power Canelo displays. This isn't just commentary, it's a full-on endorsement that contrasts sharply with other voices in the mix. But not everyone's on the same page, especially when you bring in Oscar de la Hoya, the golden boy himself, whose history with Canelo is anything but golden. Oscar de la Hoya, the Olympic gold medalist turned promoter, has a complicated past with Canelo. Back in the day, de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions helped launch Canelo to stardom, signing him in 2010 and guiding him through mega fights against the likes of Floyd Mayweather and Gennady Golovkin. Their partnership raked in millions, with events like Canelo vs. GGG in 2017 shattering pay-per-view records. But things soured in 2020 when Canelo sued De La Hoya and Golden Boy for breach of contract, claiming they owed him $280 million. The fallout was ugly public insults, legal battles, and a split that left De La Hoya promoting rivals while Canelo went independent with Matchroom Boxing. Fast forward to this new training footage, and De La Hoya couldn't resist chiming in. On Twitter, now X, he posted a series of pointed tweets starting with, "Nice mitt work, but where's the real challenge?" He called the clips overproduced fluff, suggesting they were edited to make Canelo look invincible while ignoring vulnerabilities. "I've seen better from amateurs," he jabbed, referencing what he perceives as repetitive patterns in Canelo's sparring sessions. De La Hoya's criticism isn't just sour grapes, it's rooted in his belief that Canelo has been cherry-picking opponents since their split.
No sabe, Sean. ¿Por dónde, Sean? ¿Por where, Sean? Roll. Roll, Sean.
Take his recent fights. Wins over Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, and Jermell Charlo were impressive. But De La Hoya argues they weren't against prime threats like David Benavidez, the young lion who's been undefeated and calling Canelo out for years. "Train all you want, but step up to the plate," De La Hoya urged in a follow-up video on his YouTube channel. There he broke down the footage frame by frame, pointing out moments where Canelo's defense seemed a tad slow, perhaps a sign of age creeping in. It's this insider perspective that adds spice, De La Hoya knows the business, having fought in eras dominated by legends like Julio Cesar Chavez. His own career was marred by personal struggles, including well-publicized issues with substance use, but he's rebuilt as a promoter with fighters like Ryan Garcia. In reacting to Canelo, De La Hoya ties it back to their beef, hinting at unresolved tensions. He left because he thought he was bigger than the game, De La Hoya said in an interview with Fight Hub TV. But boxing remembers.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good with your chest, baby. That's pretty
De La Hoya expanded on this in a podcast appearance of his own, where he compared Canelo's training to his own prep for fights against Shane Mosley, noting how real champions face adversity head-on. He questioned the authenticity of the footage, suggesting it might be from older sessions recycled for hype. Fans deserve transparency, he said, calling for Canelo to release unedited versions. De La Hoya even brought up financial angles, implying that Canelo's focus on business ventures like his clothing line and golf courses is diluting his hunger. It's a narrative he's pushed for years, but this footage gave him fresh ammo. He referenced past controversies like the 2018 drug test issue without diving too deep, just enough to stir the pot. De La Hoya's style is polished yet biting, drawing from his experience as a fighter who won titles in 6 weight classes. He shared anecdotes from their time together, like how Canelo's early fights under Golden Boy built his confidence, only to turn into betrayal. This personal touch makes his reaction feel like a grudge match unfolding in real time, pulling viewers deeper into the drama. Now let's talk about how the fans are reacting, because let's face it, they're the ones keeping this story alive. Social media lit up the moment the footage dropped. On TikTok, edits of Canelo's hook synced to hype music have millions of likes, with captions like Canelo at 35 prime everyone else. Reddit threads on r/boxing exploded with debates. Some users praised the incorporation of AI-driven training analytics, noting how Canelo's team uses data to optimize every punch. Others sided with De La Hoya, posting memes of Canelo ducking Benavides, complete with duck emojis. Instagram comments under Rogan's post were a mix. Joe's right, Canelo's a beast, versus Oscar knows the truth, this is all PR. The viral nature stems from the timing. Boxing's in a bit of a lull post 2024's big cards, so this footage fills the void. Fan polls on YouTube channels like Boxing Ego ask, is Canelo still the pound-for-pound king? With results split 60-40 in his favor. What's fascinating is the global reach. Mexican fans flood comments with national pride, chanting Viva Canelo, while American viewers speculate on PPV potential. Even celebrities jumped in. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson reposted a clip with Warrior Mode activated, boosting visibility. But it's not all positive. Conspiracy theorists whisper about the footage being staged, pointing to perfect lighting and no visible fatigue. This buzz ties back to Canelo's broader appeal, his story of rising from Jalisco streets to Forbes' highest-paid athletes list, with ventures like his VMC tequila brand adding layers. Fans love the underdog-turned-king vibe, but De La Hoya's shade reminds them of the drama lurking beneath. Digging into specific fan stories, there's the tale of a young boxer from Texas who replicated Canelo's routine after seeing the clips, posting his progress on YouTube and gaining thousands of followers. Or the heated Twitter spaces where fans argue for hours, with moderators bringing in experts to analyze the footage. Platforms like Discord have dedicated servers breaking down every frame, from Canelo's hand speed, measured at 20 punches per 10 seconds, to his calorie intake. The engagement metrics are off the charts. Hashtags like Canelo Training 2025 trending worldwide, with user-generated content like reaction videos racking up views.
Has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford.
Some fans tie it to cultural elements, celebrating Canelo as a symbol of Mexican resilience, especially with fights often scheduled around holidays like Cinco de Mayo. Others criticize the commercialization, echoing De La Hoya by saying the sport needs more grit and less glamour. Rogan's influence shows here too. His listeners flood forums with MMA crossovers, imagining Canelo in the octagon against stars like Sean O'Malley. The diversity of opinions, from die-hard supporters sharing tattoo photos of Canelo's face to skeptics predicting a downfall, creates a vibrant ecosystem that keeps the conversation going long after the initial drop. Building on that, the speculations about Canelo's next move are where things get really intriguing. Rogan's podcast fueled talks of crossover events, like Canelo stepping into an MMA rules bout, though that's a long shot. He mentioned how the training footage shows improved groundwork, perhaps hinting at defensive tweaks against grapplers. De La Hoya, on the other hand, uses it to push his narrative of avoidance. If he's training this hard, why not fight Benavidez? He asked in a recent presser. Benavidez, the 27-year-old with 29 knockouts, has been vocal, tweeting, "I'm ready whenever Canelo stops hiding." De La Hoya's Golden Boy stable has prospects like Jaime Munguia, whom Canelo beat in 2024, adding fuel to promotional wars. What if Canelo's training is for something bigger, like unifying all belts again? Speculation runs wild, with betting odds on DraftKings favoring a Benavidez clash at 2-1. Fans theorize on forums about PED use, always denied by Canelo's camp. But the footage's raw intensity shuts down some doubters. It's this what's next element that keeps viewers glued, blending hope with uncertainty. Let's expand on potential opponents. Terence Crawford, fresh off his 2024 wins, has the technical prowess to match Canelo's, with his switch-hitting style potentially disrupting the rhythm scene in the training clips. Exploring the technical side of the footage reveals hidden gems. Canelo's mitt work shows evolved head movement, dodging imaginary punches with ease. Experts like Teddy Atlas have chimed in, praising the precision but echoing De La Hoya on potential flaws. Rogan broke it down biomechanically, discussing torque and punches. Fans analyze speed bags, noting improvement since 2022. This detail-oriented view keeps tech-savvy viewers hooked. The global impact can't be overlooked. In Mexico, the footage is national news, with parades planned if a big fight happens.
You have 4 children.
ใหญ่ครับ
You
three
have 3 children. You have 7?
Yes.
10 kids.
7
Yeah.
oh my god
He hasn't stopped.
yeah I think
Have you stopped now? Is that enough?
What?
Are you gonna have more kids? Or?
I don't know.
Internationally, it's sparking boxing revivals in places like the UK, where Eddie Hearn promotes Canelo. Rogan taps into this with global guests, while De La Hoya's criticism resonates in the US. Speculations about World Tour add excitement. Untold challenges in Canelo's career include injuries like a hand issue in 2023 that the footage seems to defy. Rogan speculated on recovery methods, De La Hoya doubted them. This adds vulnerability, making him relatable. In the end, Canelo's clips have everyone talking, blending awe with skepticism in a way that keeps the sport alive. But what if the real fight isn't in the ring, it's in the legacies being built right now? Drop your thoughts below. Is Canelo untouchable, or is the hype about to crack?